Now, I'd like to invite two key speakers for this fundraising dinner. The first one is the Honorable Penny Sharp. Penny Sharp is a member of the Legislative Council of New South Wales Parliament. She is the ambassador for Aung San Suu Kyi, and also she is member of Executive Committee of the Australian Coalition for Democracy in Burma. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable Penny Sharp.
Thank you very much. It's a very hard act to follow that wonderful puppet show, so I want to thank the performers. It was really wonderful. I'd first like to begin by acknowledging the traditional, the women of the land, the Indigenous people of Australia, and I pay my respects to their elders past and present. And I want to thank the Australian Burma campaign for inviting me to say a few words to you tonight. Next Sunday will be my daughter's first birthday. It will also be the 15th year that Aung San Suu Kyi has had to endure being under house arrest. My daughter celebrates her birthday at an important time in Australia. We've just had an election. There has been a transition to a new government of the same party, but we now are in a place where we have a woman Governor-General, our first elected female Prime Minister. We live in a state with our first elected Premier, and we also have a female Governor. In fact, my daughter actually lives in a local government area that has just elected its first female Mayor. It is indeed a very exciting time to be a young person growing up in Australia and this particular democracy. But my daughter, of course, is very fortunate. She's growing up in a democracy, in a place where we are free and where we run our elections in a fair manner, where there are no political prisoners, and where any person can put themselves forward for election and have the opportunity to be elected in a fair and free process that will reflect the collective wisdom of everyone who casts their vote. We live in a place where we're actually able to criticise the government. Tonight we come together to campaign for those same rights for all the daughters and sons of Burma. The generals of Burma oversee one of the most brutal and oppressive regimes in the world. Since 1988, they have systematically and intentionally tried to break the will and the spirit of the Burmese people. They have imprisoned their true leader of Burma, Aung San Suu Kyi. They have tortured, raped, murdered and imprisoned anyone who disagreed with them, anyone who simply sought to live in a free democracy. They have oppressed the minority groups across Burma. And it's important to note that in their sham election on the 7th of November, they will easily exclude 1.5 million people from the minority groups of the Karen, the Karenni, the Mon, the Shan and the Kashan. They have introduced a constitution that guarantees that elections can never be fair or free, elections that will never represent the true will of the Burmese people. Tonight we also come together to celebrate the resilience and the determination of the Burmese people. The resilience and determination of those political prisoners, all 2,100 plus of them. We demand that Aung San Suu Kyi be released unconditionally. We demand that all of the estimated 2,000 political prisoners be released unconditionally. We demand that the people of Burma are given the opportunity to elect their own representatives, free from coercion and free from interference. We demand that the people of Burma be allowed to elect their own government under a constitution that has not been drawn up by a military junta only interested in preserving its own power. We call on all Australian businesses to stop doing business with Burma until democracy is restored. We call on the federal government to reject the outcomes of the election in Burma unless all political prisoners are unconditionally released. We call on the Australian government to do everything in its power to support a return to democracy in Burma and the release of Aung San Suu Kyi and the rest of the political prisoners. Thank you very much for allowing me to come and say these few words tonight. As an elected representative, I'm honoured to be able to take my place in the New South Wales Parliament and to seek to improve the lives of people in New South Wales. I feel extremely lucky that I'm able to do that in such an easy manner. As a mother, I yearn for Daw Aung San Suu Kyi's release so she can again see her children and, more importantly, lead the citizens of Burma to become a free nation committed to human rights and the improvement of the lives of all of its people. I will continue to speak up about Burma until all of the political prisoners are released. We cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering of the people of Burma, their right to a democratic government. I hope you have a wonderful time for the rest of the evening, and thank you very much for letting me say these few words.
Thank you so much, Penny. The Burmese community in Australia and the Burma community in Australia always appreciate your continued support and tireless effort for the promotions of democracy and human rights in Burma. Thank you so much.